Today I'm joined by Charlotte Johns, Director in the Employment Group. So Charlotte, why is it that the New Equality Act is so important?
Julie, this is a really important area for all employers to know about and to understand. Everybody thinks of tribunal claims as being an area that they want to avoid. And of course, if employers fall foul of the Equality Act, then potentially they would be facing a tribunal claim. One of the key ways that employers can ensure that they don't face claims, or that they're less likely to face claims, is making sure that their workforce is properly trained in terms of their obligations around equal opportunities and the way that they treat their colleagues. Other areas that people don't always think about in terms of the Equality Act and potential issues that might arise would of course be the adverse publicity that can arise from a tribunal claim. It's also really important for managers to feel that they have the appropriate skills in place and that they understand their obligations under the Equality Act, so that they're equipped to deal with difficult situations if and when they do arise.
So I guess the law's quite different now from what it used to be then?
The New Equality Act, in many respects, consolidates the legislation that we had previously. There were 9 key pieces of legislation that have been brought into one place under the Equality Act 2010, but there are some changes under the Act as well that employers and businesses need to be aware of. For example, it was previously the case that under certain contracts, employees were prevented from discussing their salaries, and if employees had those discussions, then the employer might be able to bring disciplinary action against those employees. There are now provisions that state that in certain circumstances, employees are entitled to discuss their salary levels if those discussions are taking place within the context of the employees considering an equal pay claim, for example. So that's one of the key differences. Another area that employers need to be aware of is the increased potential for liability in respect of the actions of third parties. That's other people who perhaps come onto the employer's premises or even their clients. Again, employers may be able to defend actions resulting from discrimination arising from third-party actions if they can show that they have taken proper steps to try and prevent the discrimination occurring. So that's just 2 examples of areas that have changed. There are others.
Well, you say proper steps and reasonable steps that you have to take. So how do employers go about doing that then?
Well, Julie, it's really important that employers have proper policies and procedures in place. It's important to make sure that any equal opportunities policy is up to date. Most employers nowadays are also carrying out some form of monitoring, perhaps at the recruitment stage, often on an anonymised basis, again so that they can review their approach to equality and diversity across the workforce. Another area that's absolutely key is training, and I think I mentioned at the start that training is all important in terms of being a preventative step to prevent these difficult situations arising that could themselves be a breach of the Equality Act. Here at Semple Fraser, we are now offering online training which can be made available to all employees of an organisation. One of the positive aspects about that training is that it can be completed at the individual's workstation and can be completed in their own time. So it's not a case of somebody having to come in and everybody having to come in to a seminar room all at the same time. The training's online, it's there at their desktop. It's formulated with 3 modules on key areas that all employees need to be aware of and need to be trained on. And at the end of the process is also a multiple choice test. It's fairly straightforward. It's aimed at ensuring that the key learning points have come across for the employee, and it's a way of helping the employer monitor and make sure that people have taken the benefit of the training.